Hi, welcome to another post of this Land Rover 101 which me and my son are on with. So for this posting I'm going to go and show you the roof section I'm starting to put together, and then we'll go look at the exhaust system which I've finished. So I'm making it, as I've said, I'm making this into a solid bodied instead of leaving it as its original GS format. There are a number of reasons for that, which was basically having a canvas getting damaged, parked where I live, possibly breaking, things like that. Also, having a vehicle I can go off in, and having a solid body just made it more sensible, really. And yeah, using it as a camper van maybe, and it's going to be an all-round vehicle. So that's the idea with a solid body, really. And there's things I can do with it having a solid body, whereas if it were a canvas I couldn't do that. But anyway, so the roof section which I've made it look a bit like the 101 Vampire. I think the Vampire was part of the radar system, of which they were utilised in a bit like the radio body, I think, but I'm not really up on that. But I've taken the idea at the front as the Vampire shape, but I'm running it down the side instead of being flat down the sides. I'm going to have that folding shape in the sides as well. So it'll come down, round, then in, and then down, and then like that. So it'll retain the original body shape on the cab running down the side, but with the Vampire sort of like step out, and that'll run all the way to the back. I just like the shape. It just added a bit of a dimension to Land Rover. So if we take a closer look at what I've done, so basically this aluminium is from the drop sides. Like I said in the previous videos, the drop sides were wrecked pretty much. I wasn't going to use them, and they weren't worth putting on eBay to sell because they were pretty poor. But parts are parts on them, so I got a bit of aluminium sheet. So I utilised the aluminium sheet to make this framework. So it's just basically I made a form, folded it up in my box pan folder, and luckily I just managed to get this in. So my bender is just over 6 foot, and that's about 6 foot or there roundabouts wide. So it's folded up top, form, and you form it, then it's riveted and sealed on. It's still a bit wet, it's sealant, but that's what we've got so far. I'm still on with the drawings. I think I mentioned last time my computer crashed and I lost my original drawing what I'd started with, so I've started another one in Blender. So I'm just, when I get time, I'm throwing myself at that a little bit. I'm trying to remember how to use Blender actually, because it's been that long since I've actually been playing with it. But yeah, so if we just come round here, we can just see the form at the sides, so you can see a better idea of what the shape looks like. Right, so as you can see the form here, this is equal all the way around here, except the front is narrower, I should say shorter in its height. That would be a better description. It's shorter in its height than the back, but it's only by probably 1.5 inches, something like that. Not a lot. I just wanted it a bit of a slant. Also, I'd said that I would seal up the ends from the gutters, which I have, so I'll put a flat plate in the bottom of here on this corner, which is now sealed to this window pillar. So this stuff is a flexible, well, I believe it's a flexible sealant. It said that on tube when I got it. Flexible adhesive sealant. So anyway, so that's the form. That'll follow through all the way to the back. I'm hiring the roof up slightly from where the roll bar is. So roughly around there, I'll bring the roof up to probably about 7 or 8 inches taller than this here. The panel that's going to go on here, I'm thinking of putting some form into it to stop it drumming as much. I will put some sound deadening stuff on, but having a big flat panel, it's going to drum like mad. So I'll put some kind of form into that as well. But yeah, so it's just made, like I say, it's made out of just the drop sides is this stuff. I'm not wasting it. If it's there, I'm going to use it. And yeah, it's turned out all right. It's like it's fully TIG welded in, and it's 1.6mm, I think it is, aluminium sheet they use on the drop sides. So it's relatively thick as well. So it's quite strong, is that. So when it gets a roof panel and everything on it, it's going to be quite substantial. So yeah, so let's go to the back and then we'll look at the bits for the exhaust, and then I'll show you the exhaust finished. So some of the parts for the exhaust, I've still got a few bits to make to bring it all together to show you, you know, as it's finished, but this is pretty much enough. Just got some brackets to put on it. But so I first was asking about the silencer. A gentleman came on. I still forgot to get your name, mate, but I will plug you for it because yeah, it was helpful. And he gave me a size. He said he had a big bore system on his 101, and he told me that his pipes were, I think it was 52 or 53 with a bit of rust and rubbish or whatever on it. I went through Rimmer Brothers stuff on their website. I did email them and they hadn't been back to me. In fact, I don't think anybody wants to bother with emails nowadays. But anyway, so he told me he got a large bore, about just over 52mm OD. The one that I got was the same, but the only thing that was different, if you just bear with me a second. Yeah, here we are. So this connector, this coupler, which brings the two pipes into the one, which is that there. This particular pipe doesn't match up to the big bore system which Rimmer Brothers have. This is a standard pipe coupling. So when I was looking through it, I thought, why have I got my silencer which came with this, because I got the complete kit, why was it showing 52mm and this gentleman's was exactly the same, the bars they were same. So why were Rimmer Brothers saying that one was different from the other and charging accordingly as well? They've not been back to me to tell me what is the difference, so I'm going on what I've seen with what I've bought. So this cost me 220 quid delivered, did this silencer. I think they wanted an extra 30 quid for the big bore system, which appears to have been exactly the same silencer. The only thing I found was the pipe. So this is the coupling that went on the end, and one of them was slightly narrower. It pushed it inside, but other than that, it's exactly the same as this silencer as what appears to be the big bore. Like I say, I can't say for 100% fact because Rimmer Brothers didn't get back to me to tell me exactly what was the difference between the big bore and the standard one, but I got the standard one because of what I already had. And it works out, it's exactly the same. It appears to be exactly the same. It's certainly exactly the same as the one I've got on the vehicle. So I got it, and what I've done is I chopped off the ends as I've shown, and I put in a compression pipe at one end and a plane at the other. So it just can't get mixed up when it's all assembled, which it wouldn't do anyway because it's all me building it. So this end fits onto this end here. This end slides into the X pipe, which is underneath there, and this is bent this way to go to lift. Yeah, to bring it over. The pipe brings it over because the silencer, I've got the other silencer set, which I think you will have seen at like a 45-degree angle like that. So this comes alongside of it like that. So I made that goes on in the end of there, and then this pipe here comes underneath the cross member. So I made two tail ends. So basically it was just a kinked pipe, and I just chopped it. So originally it was like that, and I just chopped two ends and welded two slot ends on, and so they go on like that, and they just stick out underneath the cross member, just off centre from the towing hitch to the near side. So yeah, that's how it is. Well, if we go underneath now, I'll show you all finished off and fastened up with all the other bits that I've made, and you'll be able to see what I've done. And that's all the exhaust done then. So exhaust finished, well, nearly finished. I've just got to get some clamps. I'm getting some clamps. It's a strap that goes around instead of the U-bolts. I just think they're tidier. Apparently you can get the clamping force on them. We'll find out. But anyway, so I'm just waiting on those coming. But you can see my arrangement. The silencer I bought from Frost, 250 quid. Absolutely a nightmare price, but I had to get it. But you can see it comes, obviously the pipe comes here, this silencer, the other side of the axle, which is here, and then just the pipe that brings it down, and the two outlets at the end here, I joined those together, so the big rubber mounts which I have for the main silencers, that's supporting obviously the end of the silencer here, and then the bracket I made to join the two tailpipe pieces together at the end supports this pipe here. So that is all now supported. It's got a big, obviously, mount rubber here as well, but I didn't want to just have a clamp and it's supporting that pipe. So it's bridged across that end. So yeah, so it's done and it's in. Like I said, just need the strap clamps to fasten it all together and seal it up. Oh, and I'm going to shot blast them all as well, and I'm going to put some heat resistant black paint on so it doesn't rust and it'll look a bit prettier for that. So yeah, so if we just come round this side here and we'll look at the inside piece here, looking on this way, so you can see probably a bit better there. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the exhaust off and lay it all out so you can see better exactly what it is that I've built. So if we come round here, then you can see this side. Right, so as you can see, hopefully, the routing which I have coming through the cross member in the centre of the chassis. So it comes through that just after the X pipe. As you can see, the silencer here, the other pipe coming down the side of it to this silencer. You'd have, like I said before, you'd have thought there'd been a load of room up here to put these together, but there just wasn't at all. But it never was supposed designed to take two silencers. But anyway, so you can see them come together. The two pipes are run to here, the mounting here, the big heavy rubber mounting to carry this silencer, and the one at this side here to carry this one at the back and the one at the front of the silencer. So yeah, it just comes down, like I say, you can see the routing of it, and how I've managed to get it in, even though you'd have thought there'd been loads of room, but there isn't. Oh, and I just picked up on the actual floor cross member for the bracket there. So yeah, so we'll take it out and we'll lay it down on the floor now, and we'll just show you exactly what it looks like from front to back without being wrapped around chassis. Okay, so as you can see now, this is it. This is everything at which I've built. So I'm just going to run through each piece. I know as I've built these parts, I've gone pretty much over it, but as you can see it now all in one piece, then I thought I'd just show you it's all, you know, this is what it looks like out pretty much, and I'll just go over it for those who may not have seen any earlier videos of this 101 exhaust system I've built. So Range Rover P38 tubular manifolds I purchased off eBay. Can't remember how much, it wasn't expensive, something like 45 quid or something silly. Modified the turn up there so it could come back up into the chassis. That's obviously the offside. The near side, had to do a lot of modification to that. So that was pretty much all cut up and then reset to bring it round and up and over, and especially to get well, it's not so much a round, but to clear it for the winch pulley. There's a winch pulley right in the flaming way, so it made it quite difficult. That was quite a difficult one to jig around and get, but we got it. And then the connectors with the flexes there. This is the bracket my son made. This goes onto the top of the gearbox where the gear selector is, so that mounts onto there, and that just stabilizes the ends of these pipes because it's a tubular manifold. Takes some weight off it. So all the brackets, you can see welded to the exhaust and it's bolted through, and just a reinforcing web that goes to join them up and to sit on top of the gearbox. So that's that. And then the X pipe, which I made. So this goes through the chassis, so the cross members here, comes across here and underneath, so it goes in between those. So I've got two rubber mounts that go on there and there to support it there. This area here I had to bring in because of the load compensator for the back brakes is here, so that had to go there. Then this is the original silencer I got with it, but this is a stainless steel one, and this is one that comes from Rimmer Brothers, not the one I bought, but it's the same as this. So this goes before the front axle on an angle like that, as you've seen. There's my bracket I made for it, and that goes into end of there. This is a coupling pipe that comes from there to go to the other side of the axle with the mounts, which bolts up onto the floor cross member like that. So obviously that goes into there. Then the Rimmer Brothers one that I bought silencer, that goes obviously into end of there, and that's just stood like that, as you've seen. And there's my bracket and rubber, which goes onto where the back cross member and the chassis come together. There's some angles, pieces of angle line that join across at a 45-degree angle. I picked up on one of those, and that's my little bracket which I made, which just bolts onto the top and it goes through the end of the rubber. This pipe comes off end of this first silencer, which is in front of the axle, as you've seen, and that drops down to the side of this silencer, and then this is the little tail pipes, which I made a bracket to join them together. So once that's clamped onto this silencer, when that goes through there like that, and that's clamped onto there, then that doesn't need to be supported by anything other than that one, which is clamped on, which is fastened to that. So there you go. That's one Land Rover 101 silencer exhaust system which I've made. Been an interesting build, and it's got me ready for doing my Jag. So it's actually been a good exercise before I got stuck into Jag, just to brush up on my pipe work. It's been a long time since I've done anything like this. So yeah. So just one more thing in sight cab. So if we go in sight cab, for the fan, electric fan I put a thermostat, well, it's not a thermostat, it's a temperature switch to trigger the electric fan. So if we go in there, we'll have a look at that. Right, so finally for this video, I showed you the fan cowling I made out of alley and the electric fan which I put on. And so we're wiring it up, so I got a inline temperature switch thingy-doodah. So I just cut into the hose, my son fitted it in, switch came with it, can't remember how much it was, want a lot. So we're wiring it up, so we've mounted a little aluminium bracket to the top of this gear stick gear changer bracket. It's mounted to the engine, so just a little flat plate with some ends tucked up, relay mounted onto it, fuse at side, and then there's cabling with obviously a coupling. The wiring, obviously my son's working on to bring it to the switch here, and then he's got obviously a wire live to there, and then we've got a heavier live to put in from the main fuse from the fuse box over there. So he's got to do that, but that's what he's on with at the moment, and that's coming on, and that's pretty much where we are with this so far. Yeah, we're getting closer to getting the thing fired up. Be nice to hear it actually run, especially with exhaust. I'm really interested to see what it sounds like with exhausts I've made. So yeah, that'll be good. So sorry for the videos being taking so long, but some things are just cropped into the equation at we couldn't account for, and so we'd had to work around some bits and pieces, but we're starting to move forward again. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and the bits I've made, like I said right from the beginning that I was going to be modifying this vehicle, not to any stupid extremes, but I just wanted to try and make it a bit better, and just to see what those modifications would achieve. And so, like I said, with the exhaust, that is obviously a better setup than what it originally had. I'm still happy with the fan system of taking it away from the engine. Okay, people say it doesn't take that much energy. You swinging a big fan round like this does still take energy. So taking it away and having it electrically controlled, I felt that was better. So like I say, we'll see how that goes. Like I say, all these things are more like research and development. You do your bits and you put it on, you'll run it and see what it goes like, and we'll take it from there really. But yeah, so as always, I'm grateful for all those who post up, for those who are watching, and continue to watch. Hopefully we can get more people and get more interest about this 101 which I'm building, and same with the Jag. I'm going to start getting some bits and pieces for exhaust for that as well, so hopefully I'll start putting some videos out for that as well. So once again, thank you very much for all those who watch, and take it steady, and we'll see you on the next one when I eventually get it on. So yeah, see you later on.